Okay, and apparently the last game I played on multiplayer was as Indonesia. I think, was that the game where I was relatively isolated on the map and could just concentrate on building out all sorts of infrastructure? I guess that was pretty nice. Definitely a very peaceful way to play. We might have knocked out an early neighbor and then just sat on the corner of the map building up. And I think that was. I play multiplayer very intermittently, and so I think that Indonesia game was also there was also a large gap in between when I played that game and when I had played my previous game. So it was really nice that we had a game where we didn't need to fight too hard because those things take practice. You need since it is real time, you need to be able to make the appropriate decisions and judgments quickly, and that has to be calibrated by frequent play. And so I'm glad that that Indonesia game didn't require me to make too many important combat judgments, because those probably wouldn't have gone over too well. Although I think we did get an early rush off on our neighbor in that Indonesia game. So that was a combat judgment, but I think it probably could have gone better. Okay, so we survived the Indonesian fleet by making peace. In fact, Indonesia paid us 9 gold per turn for that. But we did trip up on the zone of control of that Indonesian sub before we made peace, and that allowed the Brazilian fleet to catch up for us. This is a bit of overkill here, but they've surrounded us with 4 nuclear submarines and 2 privateers. So say goodbye to this guy. We should probably just go and gift him to a city-state. Maybe the privateer can make trouble for someone. Are we? I think we were actually friends with the city-state somewhere. This guy needs a promotion. Let's go and grab boarding party. That's fine. There's an upcoming session. Antananarivo seeks a wonder. Shoot down the archaeologist there. China and Korea are now at war. Siam has the Manhattan Project. I think that's at least 3 Civ that have the Manhattan Project completed. Alright, so is there a city-state that I'm even remotely friends with here? Neutral, 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 and Manila, which gives them that privateer. So give a gift, gift a unit. Where did our privateer run off to? Over here, I believe. Alright, we'll gift that privateer. No need to give that guy to the Brazilian Navy. Hey, Innovate Space, welcome to the stream. And choose production. Over in Edinburgh, the Hermitage. Is that going to be any benefit to us at all? I guess boosting our culture would be a good plan here. I don't know if we'd be able to get another social policy. Which of our cities has the highest culture output at the moment? Economic overview. It is the capital, so fine. Let's build out the Hermitage here. 6 turns and plus 50% culture, plus 2 culture, and a few slots, which we could potentially get a thieving bonus on depending on what great works we have. We'll figure that out once we actually finish the Hermitage. Now, this guy's healed up. We are worried about war here. We're still at war with Rome, so let's get a free pillage off on that for our research lab fund. And we'll head over to Brazil here. Again, the frigates aren't going to be able to deal very much damage to a 124 strength city, but I do feel like I need to do something. We need to at least try to advance our position here. We're not just going to sit on the defensive until another Civ wins the game. Okay, so there's the stock exchange done. We're pumping a good amount of gold per turn. We've got an excellent gold per turn now. We could build out an amphitheater A aqueduct wouldn't be bad. It could result. So, say the game's going to end at turn 300. Building an aqueduct here could get us an extra citizen or two, which wouldn't be bad. Extra one culture isn't going to get us too much. Alright, let's build out a ship of the line then, since we're going to be dealing probably with war with France, possibly with Spain. And if we want to put good pressure and make peace with Denmark, we'll probably need to take this city here. Alright, I guess that also counts as being proactive. Let's have these guys. The guys who haven't gotten too far over towards South America. We'll have these guys divert and attack some more of Harold's cities. Yeah, that's right. Massive Effects will take down Peng. If anyone wants to suggest how I'm supposed to say that name, feel free to as well. It sounds rather Asian to me, which probably means I'm saying it wrong. You're saying it wrong. Now, let's see. We are at peace with Germany, so we're free to slide in over here. Deal some damage to these units, and we've got the privateer. We'll do some scouting. We'll have him ready to do the actual capture on Peng. Ooh, and definitely want to be pillaging these cargo ships. That'll be nice. Alright, so this will be the last turn. What we'll do is pillage the cargo ships in case I forget about them, and then we'll save it. That'll end today's stream, and you'll have to wait until Monday for our slow but steady advance through the eras on this 43 Civ map. Sir Ken's asked if I've seen the list of changes for the NQ mod that Fruit Strike has been making. I haven't read all of the changes, but the changes that I have seen have been very interesting. It'll really spice up multiplayer, so I am looking forward to giving Fruit Strike's mod a try. In fact, I suppose since we've got another long turn time, maybe if I could pull up a list of those mods, we could read a little about them on stream. So his mod does a massive overhaul of all of the social policies, basically strengthening them all to the extreme so that they become much more attractive, so that you're not always going tradition rationalism. So after being friendly and paying us the gold per turn, Indonesia's decided to denounce us. That was a pretty quick flip. Right, so there is a subreddit for the NQ mod where a bunch of change lists are posted. So the stickied thread is the change list from version 4 to version 5, which gives you some idea of how many or how frequently Fruit Strike has been changing this. So the workboat production cost has been reduced by 40%. Definitely very welcome. Oftentimes, building out workboats doesn't make any sense, and being stuck with coastal luxuries is not good, because they're so expensive to get online, and usually it's not beneficial to actually put fishing boats on fish, just because it costs so many hammers to get just the one more food per turn. So definitely a welcome change there. The Naval Malay promotion. Okay, so there's a new promotion that allows naval units to move after they attack. So that would spice up naval combat. Naval combat on simultaneous turns, especially with the lag, is pretty bad because naval units have so much movement. It's pure chaos. It's at least for me a frustrating click fest. Same as with land, but at least with land units, there's much less movement, so the options are a little more constrained, and you can sort of make up for the lag by expecting what your opponent is going to do. And since they only have a few tiles that they can move to, it's easier to predict. So I love Civ 5 multiplayer, but it's really not the best multiplayer game in terms of latency, in terms of the execution of the simultaneous turns. But anyways, so extra movement on melee units, that's fine. Anti-tank guns and helicopter gunships now have plus 200 versus armor. Okay, that's interesting. So they're also trying to make the late game a little more interesting. I don't think I've ever used anti-tank guns and helicopter gunships in multiplayer. So with that buff, maybe they can be a very surgical tool if your opponent has a whole bunch of armored units out. Rocket artillery no longer requires aluminum. Rocket artillery are really strong, and again, most of the NQ games I've played in, I don't know if I've ever used rocket artillery in my NQ games, because by that time we're usually running around with nukes and aircraft. But again, buffs to late game units that don't often see play, fine with me. Along that same vein, the giant death robot now starts with interception 3, giving it increased interception. So that's actually really nice. Again, buffs to late game units. We can go and work together with the Shoshone. It might anger the Aztecs a little though. Are they at war with the Shoshone? No, they're not. Have they denounced the Shoshone? They have not. So sure, let's make a declaration of friendship with those guys there. And the final unit buff in the NQ mod for version 5 is that stealth bombers have only 75% evasion. So it's a slight nerf from 100% evasion. I guess that's nice. You can actually do some intercepts on that. They take 25% damage from interception instead of 0. So that seems fair. Again, stealth bombers, at least in the games that I played. Now again, this is from like a year ago when I actually played games with NQ. It was very rare that stealth bombers would actually be relevant. Usually by that time of the game, people are pretty tired. There's a clear leader, and we're about ready to concede. Massive Effects is saying that Elizabeth is pillaging our crab. Alright, let's have a look at that before we end today's stream. Oh man, she really is in here pillaging our crab. Alright, so let's send this guy around to quickly deal with that. We run over to here. And there's Brazil ready to pillage our crab too. Can I get within range here to protect the crab? No, I can't. Alright, we'll park right here. That's not going to zone of control protect our crab. Oh wait, that's all of our moves. Alright, we'll bring this guy back too. He's got range. Oh no, all of our crab. Well, what can I do about this? Not too much. Alright, we can move to here and then take a shot at this guy, but then that leaves Brazil free to take care of the rest of our crab. Well, we'll send the Admiral over to the north. We're not at war with America, are we? Bombard? No. Okay, so let's pillage these guys before we forget. We've got a nice war chest here for our eventual research lab purchases. And let's start killing more of these units. Maybe we can get a favorable peace deal from Denmark. And this frigate, I guess we can just park there. And we could wander our way into here and deal damage to that embarked ski infantry. So long as the game doesn't freeze on me. Alright, there we go. Alright, so our fleet here now has 5 frigates, so sort of back to where we were originally before we took those losses. 2 great admirals, a slight improvement there, a nuclear sub who's almost healed up, and we're good there. So Trapper asks how we recovered so much gold per turn. We're getting a bunch of gold per turn from peace treaties. So from other civilizations, we're getting 66 gold from selling coal, selling other resources, including some truffles, I believe. Both Indonesia and Ethiopia are paying us for peace, and then plus, since we don't have enemy ships blockading our cities, we're getting nice internal trade route gold as well. So we're getting 75.85 gold from city connections, and we have a few more cities as well. We acquired Amsterdam and Barcelona, so our gold per turn is healthy again, which is excellent. Deal some damage to that archaeologist. We'll see if Spain, now that we've killed another one of our archaeologists, maybe she'll take peace. Negotiate peace. No such luck. What about Denmark? Negotiate peace. Alright, so I guess since at this stage we're getting into a longer episode, I'll play one more turn and then we'll split this into 2 parts. Since it is the weekend, may as well make this a 2-parter for YouTube. We have a unit from Denmark who we may as well go and deal with. Swing over this way. And do I want to capture him? 15 damage on our privateer. May as well grab one of those guys. He might be useful for grabbing a city near the end. Alright, so that's everyone there. Choose production. We are starting to run low on the happiness, so maybe building out a courthouse is the way we want to go. If Spain is going to be serious about sending stuff our way repeatedly, maybe a walls would be prudent. Let's go for walls for now, and we can flip. Do I want to go for the national epic again? I think I'd rather... Yeah, so 25 turns. I'm not in a rush to get this great engineer out. If I was, just employing another slot would be more effective than completing the national epic. We're not going to be able to finish a scientist in time for before the game ends. At least not likely. That 50 turns is going to be increased as we spawn great scientists over in other cities. So even if we get the 25% boost there, that's not going to help, so we won't worry about the national epic then. We should have tried to get all of that online earlier, but I was preoccupied with war and generally out of practice with Civ. So we'll just leave that be. We can take a look at the spies now. We're about to get set up with the spy steel timers in India and Denmark. Pardig Padraig is going to get a spy steel attempt off in 3 turns. Hopefully we'll be able to steal plastics. Let's have a look at Mecca and see if they have research labs up. I really hope they do. Have another quick look. Still no research labs, so we might not actually be able to steal plastics. That is that. We'll flip that over to strategic mode. See if Brazil pillages some more crabs. I think, yeah, if we get those crab back online, we'll have another bit of happiness. Elizabeth wants a peace treaty. If she can offer me some gold, I'll take it.
Would you be interested?
Alright, so we'll just stay at war so we can pillage any English cargo ships that we come across. Alright, let's read about some more of these changes in version 5 of Fruit Strike's NQ mod. The East India Company grants an extra trade route and plus 25% gold. That seems welcome. Notre Dame now grants a great artist point instead of a great merchant point. Definitely welcome. And also, I guess that makes sense thematically, maybe. I don't really associate Notre Dame with merchants, and by and large, people aren't really too happy to get great merchants in multiplayer. Artists are useful for spawning golden ages and maybe the odd time getting a great work going if you get them early. Improvements: the customs house now receives plus 4 gold at economics, up from plus 1. So definitely boosting the much maligned great trader people. Montezuma wants to continue paying us 2 gold per turn for open borders. I can accept that. Compasses now gives plus 1 movement when embarked. That's good. Embarked movement is painfully slow. And then a bunch of modifications to social policies. Republic now provides plus 10% building production, up from 5. The finisher now provides plus 100% production towards national wonders. So that's definitely nice. Runs a little counter to, I guess. No, that sounds like a good compromise. So national wonders are meant to incentivize staying on few cities, but here, if you finish off the tree, finish off the Liberty tree, you can get a huge discount to building your national wonders. So I don't know how that'll work balance-wise. It doesn't seem particularly egregious, but it definitely makes finishing Liberty more exciting. So that's a boost to national wonder production, as well as a 15% boost to the buildings that the national wonders require, including the Coliseum, the Market, the Temple, the Opera House, the Barracks, the Workshop, Library, Monument, Police Station, and Hotel and University. That is pretty significant. Alright, so honor has been totally reworked. But here, only the changes are only list changes between version 4 and version 5. So I won't go over those right now since they're not the most accurate representation of the changes in honor. So a lot of social policy changes, those are probably, it'd be better if we went through them, what the full list of them are. So I'm assuming the mod also modifies the Civilpedia entries, so maybe I'll try loading that up at some point. A bunch of new pantheons have been introduced, and there's a gameplay change. Radaring has been removed. You can no longer use civilian unit pathfinding to scout for the enemy. That's interesting. Radaring was not an intended feature in the game, so having it removed seems fair. Do we want to make friends with the Huns? They have denounced Germany, Ethiopia, Indonesia, the Iroquois, Mongolia, China, the Ottomans, and Portugal. Not at war with anyone except for England, so sure, let's work together. They have a really good gold per turn and a huge pile of gold, so they'd be a good choice for selling our resources too. We'll happily make friends with them there. Okay, so Brazil has pillaged another of our crab. We'll switch York or Dublin over, maybe to have them both work on fishing boats so we can get those hooked back up, sell them again, and also keep them for our own happiness as the need calls for. Spain has declared war on Assyria, or likely vice versa. Yeah, it's Assyria that's declared war on Spain. Askia has made peace with Haile Selassie. And there's another peacemaking event hidden behind that. Can I... Alright, there's the international games complete. Attila actually spent a huge amount on that. Pedro lagged behind by a mere 350 hammers or so, but misses out on the free social policy. He does get the influence boost with city-states. I'm glad Pedro didn't get that. So China and Attila devoted a lot of production to that. They are 2nd and 4th on score respectively. Alright, so even though this is a double episode, this will be the last turn. We've set up our spies. Let's go and share that intrigue with Rome. Actually, we're still at war with Rome. So we can't share that intrigue. And here, a sneak attack on Rome, apparently. Go and deal some damage to that Caravel. Our city connection to Dublin has been broken, and a trade route has been plundered as well. That's definitely frustrating. So, we want to rebuild the trade routes. London, we don't need any more shipping lines, at least not immediately. Let's have that cargo ship queued up. And I think I want to queue up the fishing boats as well out in front of the stock exchanges, especially in Dublin where we're not really making that much money while our crab is blockaded. So we'll slide the workboat out in front there. May as well get a workboat going in York too. How much money are we making? Only 16. So the stock exchange isn't going to be that great of a bonus. We'll get to work on a replacement workboat. And then these units here, nothing else that we need to hunt down. We'll advance slightly. Get over towards the Brazilian capital. Maybe push forward with a sub to spot other subs. Okay, we've got a sub sitting right here. The international games has been completed. Crab to Washington has ended since the crab was pillaged. And our sub will take a shot at this nuclear sub. And then hopefully we can get a nuclear sub capture off. Let's get the flanking bonus for maximum benefit. Drop it over here. May as well go full flanking bonus and put the Caravel out front to act as a distraction for any other subs that might be in the water. Bing! Yes! Alright, so 2 nuclear subs, that's what I like to see. And we'll just keep these guys back here. This guy can push forward slightly, maybe to here. And this guy is pretty experienced. I don't want to risk losing him. We'll just drop him over to here. That last frigate can keep on healing in Zulu territory. Meanwhile, this ship the line. Alright, fine. We'll stay around, protect the crab. Deal damage. Bombard, please. Alright, so that's taken care of. Are there any other ships coming in? Nope. Alright, so these guys are going to detour around. What's the fastest way to Kaopeng? Over this way? Alright, fine. Over through the English Channel then. We'll have the Great Admiral meet up with the rest of these guys. No more embarked units for us to fire upon. So, let's go head over to Kaopeng then. We should probably scale down ahead with the privateer first. So, at one point in time, he had ironclads and galleass. So he's got one privateer. Let's pull back to the safety of the rest of our fleet. Brawling number, what's the game plan? Things are looking pretty grim here. We are trailing on science by 21%. Brazil's at 80%. Our only hope to win on the 43 Civ huge map is science. So I'm hoping to take the Brazilian capital, slow them down, gain the huge science that Brazil must be making. They're on a mountain here. They've got 31 population. They've got all manner of wonders. That's going to be a really good city if we can take it. Though taking it is going to be no mean feat. So that's the eventual plan. We have a second fleet here going after Kaopang. I want to extract very favorable peace conditions out of Denmark, and then this army will just protect Great Britain, possibly a few more units heading over to South America. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Can I hit the ski infantry? Yes, I can. Excellent. No hills blocking our line of sight. Alright, that's it for today's stream. I'll leave you off watching the turn transition. In the next episode, we'll find out if we can get a text deal off. We'll finally be able to purchase our research labs, which will get our science per turn up. We're still way far behind. Brawling Number is excited about battleships. The thing is, I mean, yes, I do want to upgrade to battleships very much, but that's still going to be at least 10 turns away tech-wise. So, I think the ideal situation is we're somehow able to capture the Brazilian capital with frigates, and then we'll have friendly territory to upgrade a few of our frigates to battleships, and then we can plow through and capture South America. That's the ideal scenario. It's not really terribly likely. It is possible, since we do have the two great admirals there, so long as our frigates are only grievously injured, and then we can rush repair them. We have 2 nuclear subs, which might be enough, especially with backup, to capture more subs with our privateers to take care of Brazil's navy. Then our main worry is Brazil's air force. Hopefully they'll send them over somewhere else. If I can somehow get the Incans to go to war with Brazil, or maybe the Americans. It doesn't seem likely though, since Brazil is leading on score and military strength. The AI doesn't generally, unless they're very aggressive, they don't usually go for wars against stronger opponents. War with William, whatever. I can't be bothered. Brawling Number is worried about the Brazilian battleships. They'll one-shot our ships. They might not one-shot our ships. They could. But they might not. And the AI can't move and shoot. So that's one advantage that we have. Maybe we'll get lucky and be able to capture some battleships for ourselves. We'll see. In the next episode, we'll get our science rolling, and we'll also approach the Brazilian capital and see if we can capture more units, and hopefully capture the city as well. But that's all for today. For those of you just joining me now and unfamiliar with my streaming schedule, I stream every weekday morning for about an hour during this time slot, starting at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I also have this series over on my YouTube channel. If you haven't checked that out, feel free to head over there. So, thank you all for joining the stream. That looks like we've wrapped up this turn. I have a lot of work that I need to do in advance of the conference, but hopefully I'll be able to get a short stream in on the weekend. I was recently given a code for Galciv 3, which is going to be released in about a week's time. I'm not entirely sure exactly when. I think it's going to be released on the 15th of May, possibly slightly before then. So I want to give that a try. I haven't played any of the previous Galciv iterations, so I'll be a noob at the game. But I did have a brief look, loaded it up on my PC, and it looks really pretty compared to some of the graphics that I saw for when it was in alpha. So I'm interested in giving that a go. But yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your days. Primeval, signing off. No thanks on the research agreement. Yep, so long, see you later.